I put out a video a couple of years ago called Jessup. I've been running up and down the street concerning properties for sale, warning people not to buy them until they get approval of what they want to do on the property by the county. Because 99 out of 100 times they're not going to. People have not listened most of the time. 2 properties up from me used to be owned by Warren until last month. I witnessed in the early 80s and the 90s and even a little bit of the early 2000s, truck after truck after truck going in there. A lot with hazardous drums, junk cars that were complete rust buckets. But they first started filling it in with gigantic tree stumps that filled up a dump truck by themselves, one at a time. The whole bottom of it, 40 foot deep, is tree stumps. I've warned people it's not going to be buildable for 100, 200 years, and possibly never. He was a slum landlord. They brought pickup truckloads and truckloads of furniture down here when they evicted people out of their slum places in Baltimore City. The shopping center up behind the Shell station here on Route 1 by 175, and all their trash from all of the renters there was brought here. He let roofing shingles, you name it, dumped in this place. But when he was cited by Water Resources in Annapolis, which was a federal agency until the state took it over sometime in the late 80s, he said, I live in Ellicott City. I don't know what's being dumped on my property. But I'd run out there and say, that says caution, dangerous, with skull bones on the side of those 55-gallon drums. Well, we paid Julius to dump here. You did? You know its name? I warned Remax when they put a for sale sign up on this property that it was 30 foot out of the 40 foot of trash, hazardous, a lot of it, and tree stumps. There was a lot of properties being cleared up down Route 1, and this guy let everything be dumped there. Now he suckered somebody into buying it. And I'm a liar. It's just like I warned people about high crime in this area. The police have been covering it up for 30 years, putting it on the back page, giving citations instead of arresting people for criminal activity like breaking and entering, theft and stuff. They don't prosecute and arrest people anymore because that would go in the police blotter. I've had it happen on my property. People cut locks and break in and steal stuff. And it's a citation to show up to court. No arrest. And then they built all these high rises up and down Route 1. Multi-unit places. You'd be an idiot to rent in them. First off, the high prices they're charging, but second off, the county law that says 10%, I think it's 10, maybe 15%, has to be Section 8. They're moving people in from PG, DC, and B-more to Section 8 housing here on Route 1, which is bringing even higher crime. But I'm just an old man, an old putty-duddy that doesn't know what he's talking about after living here on Route 1 for 48 years. I'm a liar, according to Warren. The property's perfectly buildable and everything else. All I had to do was drill a couple of 40-foot holes, and they'd find all the trash, buildings that were dumped there that they tore down, all kind of lumber, besides tree stumps. You name it is in that place. And to cover it was about 10 foot of clay that hardens real quick and is hard for water to go through to let the dirt fill in the big holes underneath that have rotten out. I can only do so much. I've warned a lot of people renting the property from Warren to check with the county, and they came back and said, thank you. He assured me we could get a license to sign here. A guy from West Virginia came back and said, I'm sorry about cussing you out. Warren promised us to sign this multi-year lease that we could put a used car lot here. So we signed, where we could store cars that we bought at auctions around Maryland before we took them back to West Virginia and sell some here again. And the son of a bitch sued us because we refused to keep paying the monthly lease rates. You tried to warn us. I'm sorry we didn't listen to you. I'm just one person. The county don't even give a damn. So what can you do as an American trying to save people money? Yeah, these people are rich compared to me, where they can buy land and stuff. They're developers, builders, but small time, no connections with the county. There's a few properties here and there that are being screwed, and I've seen it so many times. House by Super 8. Guy spent $150,000, all new windows, wiring, plumbing, made the second floor a one-bedroom apartment, the first floor a two-bedroom apartment, and the basement he was going to run his lawn care service out of. Had to claim bankruptcy. House by Cedar Motel. Bought it. Going to put a used car lot there. Was immediately shut down by the county. Ended up bankrupt sale. Repo sale by the bank. And that's been happening 2 or 3 times now on that property until Cedar Motel bought it. But Cedar Motel's not able to do anything with it either. Property after property, especially here in Howard County or anywhere in Maryland at this stage of the game with the liberals taking over. You better check to make sure the usage you want it for is available and a license can be had before you put 1 penny on a property. And then when you do find a license is okay, then you got to put up, even with out-of-state people coming into the hearings and saying the front door of that business has to be purple with pink polka dots or something. And the roof has to be green. And you got to have so many trees and flowers around. Telling you everything instead of letting you be an individual and design it and build it and landscape it to your individual likes. God help America. Pray for America.